Perspective. The other day I was sitting waiting for a taxi. In fact, I called him and asked him how far he was, and he said he'll be there in a while. So about 10 minutes passed since I called him, and a young lady in a short, tight dress walked right past me. And as soon as she walked by, I looked. The thing is, I wasn't looking at her, but I was actually checking if the taxi had arrived, because I was kind of behind the wall. But as I looked around at the same time when the lady passed, I thought to myself, can you imagine someone thinking that I'm here looking at the young lady? Then a light bulb went into my mind. Perspective is a hell of a thing. Some time ago that was expressed to me. Perspective is a hell of a thing, said one gentleman as he examined some books in a bookstore. Prior to that statement, he was quite annoyed that some of the books were wrapped in plastic. Why are they wrapped in plastic? He asked. Well, I said, they aren't always in plastic. One is normally open for display. Then he responded, okay, well, that makes sense. You see, friends, often a lot is behind what people do and don't do, and how people act or don't act. The story is told of a couple who had serious marital problems. They were encouraged by their friends to get counseling. Upon receiving this counseling for some months, their marriage began to bloom again. During one of the sessions, the counselor discovered something about the husband's childhood that contributed to certain behaviors which his wife found annoying and unattractive. That being understood, of course, his wife was now willing to prayerfully listen and consider a new perspective. The Lord changed her views about her husband's behavior, and her attitude toward him dramatically improved. Her husband also made some important changes. Understanding each other better led to a renewed love relationship. Quite interesting. You see, friends, as human beings, we are not the best judges of people or situations. We may get some things right, but we may also get some things wrong. That's why it is not safe to judge. In Matthew 7 and verse 1, the Bible tells us to judge not, that we be not judged. Case in point, recently I was talking to a friend who said she had stopped going to church on Sabbath. When asked why, one of the reasons given was basically that the people are mean. She said that one even told her to shut up one day at work. Now, After doing some investigating myself, I realized that my friend goes to church primarily for fellowship and not necessarily for learning more truth. And trust me, I know what you may be thinking. Wrong premise. I know. But hear me out. Church fellowship is a big thing for her. But how could she fellowship with these meanies, she thought? I mean, she encountered them almost every day. So she just doesn't go. She also told me that her mom would reprimand her, "Stop forsaking the assembly." But as I listened to her, I understood why she did what she did and was able to help her understand the importance of going to church on a better premise. I used some comparative scripture text, and when the conversation was over, she thanked me for my approach. She didn't feel judged for genuinely not understanding why it was okay to go to church with hypocrites. Perspective is a hell of a thing. Friends, for improved relationships, let us ask God to help us to not be judgmental or condemnatory in our approach to people, neither to pass assumptions, but rather to be quick to listen and slow to speak. Perspective is a hell of a thing. God bless.